Hello, beautiful people of the internet. Now, today is going to be a little bit different. It is day 5, and I've realized that the audio in my previous videos has been a bit low. So I'm going to increase the audio for this one, and I'm sorry for the jump scare if you came from a quiet video to this one, but I'm going to try to make things better for the future videos. And obviously, I got a bunch of text behind me. So as you can see, I've been making some notes for what I want to talk about today, so that it's not like yesterday where I come on for like 3 minutes and have really nothing to show for it. So today I've made a bunch of notes, and hopefully it is a good use of our time. So yeah, like I said, today is kind of day 5 of the whole quitting smoking thing, and for me, honestly, like today has been a little bit of a cheat day. Like yesterday, I think the last cigarette I smoked was 10 a.m. and then I went like 24 plus hours without smoking a cigarette, and then today I was just like, you know what? I have been a very good boy for the last 5 days. I deserve some sort of reward, right? So I went out, bought some beers, got some cigarettes, and it's just like, why are these things my reward, right? Like, why do I attribute turning my brain off to like something positive, you know? Like it just makes no sense. So despite today being like a cheat day or whatever you would call it, I have learned a lot today. And I have all these notes to kind of organize my thoughts, so I guess we'll just start going through them. So the first thing I wanted to talk about is just like access to dopamine in 2025 is like, it's everywhere for free. Like you can watch YouTube, you can watch Netflix, you can play games on your phone, you can look at inappropriate images on your phone. Like the dopamine is never ending, and you can get it whenever you want, as much as you want, right? So the brain has become wired to receive dopamine all day long. And in addition to that, the brain has been conditioned to receive a reward for basically doing anything. Like, you make breakfast for yourself, oh, you get a reward, you go to bed on time, you get a reward, So it's just like everything in life is kind of tied to dopamine and like a reward system, which is a problem. So what I've realized the last few days is that when it comes to quitting an addiction like nicotine, there is no reward. There's no dopamine for denying yourself the things that you want. Like every time you don't buy a pack of cigarettes, it doesn't feel like you're gaining money. It just feels like you're denying yourself of something that you want. So sure, you could try and trick your brain into thinking that you're gaining money by not buying the cigarettes, but I mean, we both know that's not how it feels. And what I'm starting to come to terms with is that the feeling of no reward, no dopamine, is that feeling is going to perpetuate for the rest of my life, You don't need an incentive or a reward just to be a normal, functional human being. And I know it sounds absolutely ridiculous, but it's very hard for me to internalize that. Like, what do you mean I don't get a reward just for existing? Like, that's BS. And then if you try to deny the nicotine or the alcohol that your brain thinks that you need, then your brain just tries to get revenge on you. Oh, you're not going to give me the thing that I want? Well, I'm not going to let you get any sleep later. And on top of that, you're going to constantly feel cold despite it being like 30 degrees outside, which is almost like 90 degrees Fahrenheit for my American friends. Oh, you haven't eaten anything in 12 hours? Oh, too bad. You don't feel hungry. All your body wants is nicotine and alcohol. And if you give me those things, I'm going to feel so much better. And the thing is, I keep talking about the brain over the body because I've realized this is just literally all in my head. The cravings aren't like a physical thing, it's just like entirely mental. It's like if you see a commercial for McDonald's and start craving a burger, it's not your stomach being like, dude, I'm super hungry, let's go get a burger. It's actually your brain just being like, wouldn't it be really awesome right now if we spent our time and money traveling to the McDonald's down the street and then, getting a burger? But the thing is, like, it's not awesome. Your brain is a liar. I mean, yeah, eating a delicious fast food burger is kind of awesome, but like, you literally do not need it. You will live to see tomorrow if you just deny yourself that burger. In the same way you're gonna live to see tomorrow if you just deny your brain whatever it's, insisting that you need. What I've been thinking about the last few days is that like the toughest part of quitting, any of these habits is that you don't get any dopamine for quitting. Like the last 20, 15 years of our lives, we've been geared towards, just receiving dopamine and rewards for everything and anything that we do, right? But when it comes to quitting smoking or drinking, like, you're not gonna get a notification on your phone every hour being like, congratulations, you survived one more hour. Here's a prize for being so awesome. It's literally the opposite of dopamine. The brain is like, God damn, it would be absolutely peak right now if we smoked a bowl and had a beer. Holy crap, would that ever be awesome. And what makes it extra, extra tough is that you and me, the people with the addiction, we have to, mature up and man up, and be our own boss. Like no one is going to do this for us. We have to do this. We have to be our own super strict boss about this. You have to be that lame parent that doesn't let you get the toy you wanted. The asshole dad that doesn't let you have ice cream for breakfast. And like during the first few days that I was doing this, I honestly thought like, I wish someone could just like lock me up in handcuffs or a straitjacket or something and just like, force feed me the food I need to stay alive. But other than that, like my decisions are not my own. I'm here in handcuffs, I'm here in a straitjacket, and I'm just gonna exist until I get better. But there's way more to it than just the physical aspect of things. Like if anything, there is no physical aspect. Like I've been experiencing the cold sweats the last few days, and in the last 2-3 days I've probably gotten like 6 to 8 hours sleep in total. But like in the end, it's really all up here. The cravings, the desires, it's all in the brain. It really isn't physical. Like the side effects can be physical, but at the end of the day, everything is up here. If you don't truly want it, if you don't truly want to like discipline yourself in order to have a better future, then, you're never gonna pull it off. There isn't someone waiting around to give you, a reward every time you go another hour without your addictions and your vices. Like there is no dopamine for doing this. There is no reward. You just have to do it because you strictly want it. The reward is truly long-term, and honestly, you're probably not even going to feel it or acknowledge it as it's happening. The reward is not having to excuse yourself when you're out with friends to go have a cigarette. The reward is, not having to spend X dollars every month to, buy cigarettes and beer. You're not going to get the dopamine for these rewards when they happen, and that's just something you have to learn to live with. You truly have to internalize that you're doing this for your own benefit. And I mean, yeah, sure, at the end of the day, your loved ones, your friends and family, your significant other or whatever, they'll probably congratulate you and encourage you on the progress you're making. But like, at the end of the day, does that really mean anything to you? Unless you put a ton of value on what other people think of you, it's not really going to matter. And if you do put a ton of value on what other people think of you, then that's a different issue for a different time, So all in all, what have I learned today? I mean, I guess there is no physical, tangible reward at the end of this tunnel. There is nothing for me to smoke or drink or consume. The reward at the end of all this is just like the long-term value I get for the rest of my life. The health benefits, the monetary benefits, the relationship benefits. And you're not going to get some notification or achievement when you reap those benefits. You might not even realize that you're enjoying the luxury of those benefits. And truly, that's kind of what I've come to realize is the hardest part. Like we've hardwired our brains, or at least I have. I've hardwired my brain to need a reward or like a dopamine injection for everything that I'm doing. But nobody is going to reward you or congratulate you for doing this. Like, it is all on you. You're not going to get a gold star sticker and everything is just going to magically be awesome all of a sudden. Like, if you really want to do it, you just got to bite down and commit to it. So yeah, in all honesty, today was kind of a relapse day for me. I had a cigarette after more than 24 hours of abstaining, and then I drank a few beers so that I could turn my brain off. But I did these things as like a little reward to myself. And then after going through this difficult experience the last few days, what does it really say if like your idea of a reward is something negative like alcohol? You know, that's just another issue that you have to address. Like, maybe you could make a reward like, like a candy that you like, or a chocolate, or an ice cream, or just anything, like if you absolutely need a reward to encourage you to do the right thing, then like turn that reward into something that isn't like a detriment to your health, like the reward should not be, a bong hit, or, a beer, or a cigarette, or anything like that. The reward should be something positive, right? And I know it sounds really, really negative and like doomer kind of mentality, but like truly, no one really cares about this as much as you do. And no one is going to reward you for your accomplishments in, quitting your vices. If you're going to do it, you're pretty much doing it in secret, and there's no audience and no incentive other than you want to change your life for the better. And honestly, if you do something like this in private without, telling people about it and making a big deal about it like I am, posting all these videos, then like you seriously are one of the most badass, strongest people I've ever heard of. So kudos to you. But that's all I got to talk about today. I have reached the end of my, notepad slew of notes. I hope it wasn't too distracting. I'm going to have to do a lot of editing, a lot of cuts to kind of, put my thoughts together, but I hope this kind of made sense to you. It's been 5 days. I can't sleep. I'm going through all the physical symptoms of withdrawal, but like the mental part has made me realize like there's no physical craving to this all. It's all up here. And if you can convince up here that like, your dopamine and your reward is just existing, or whatever it is you replace it with, then like that's kind of the first step. Because right now it's just like, if I finish playing a game of Hearthstone, oh, my reward is to smoke a bowl. If I finish recording a video, oh, my reward is to smoke a bowl from the bong. It's like I have to retrain my brain to either not demand a reward for everything that I do in life, or replace that reward with something that is actually positive. Maybe if I do something productive and accomplish something, oh, I can have like a little candy or a piece of gum or something, like if you really need that reward, I think you have to replace it with something that isn't damaging. And I hope that makes sense. I hope this whole video is a bit more comprehensive than I thought. I'm gonna have to do a lot of editing to get the to get the parts together. But thanks for watching today, and I'll see you tomorrow.